Good morning, everybody. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Chop Sports Show right here from Chop Studios in Matawan, New Jersey. It is Sturch. It is Gooch. It is A5 Anthony behind the glass today on a wonderful Monday morning. It's a victory Monday morning for a certain someone over there. That'd be you. And hopefully tomorrow will be Victory Tuesday for me. So we'll get into all that as we go. I hope everybody enjoyed their weekend. You all right over there? That thing don't even work. I mean, it's like barely shedding any light on you whatsoever.
It's not on right, but whatever.
Hey, it doesn't matter. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Hope everybody enjoyed the football over the weekend. I know me and Gooch sure as shit did. As far as the betting aspect of things, along with my Mojo app, along with my fantasy baseball championship. Thank you very much. Bring it up to me. Thank you. That's a lot of money. I'm about to spend it all on the Mojo app. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to invest my money that way. Hope you guys enjoyed the Mojo market report this morning. If you haven't watched it already, go on over to Mojo. Their YouTube channel. It's up there right now.
Is the link in the description?
The link is probably not in the description today.
Not today, but it will be.
Listen,
it will be.
If you follow us, it's all over the place.
How about this? If you're watching live, it is not, but we can.
It will be. Yes, I can edit it and put it all in there. That's
the link is in the description.
Good morning to Ken Paulman. Not good morning to your son, who I wiped the floor with yesterday in fantasy football. So all that, the Paulman boys are 4-0. Yeah, well, guess what? You came and you met with the wrong guy on a Sunday. So other than that, my fantasy football day stunk. But we'll get into all that. If you want to support Chop Sports, you could do so by heading on over to patreon.com/Chop Sports. I don't say this for my health, ladies and germs. We need support, and I think it would be helpful. And if you haven't joined already, head on over to the Patreon, because if you're on a Patreon, you can also be involved with the Break Buds, which are going on. When's the next break? Soon, I feel.
Tomorrow.
All right. Tuesday night breakage.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday.
You have 3 breaks this week?
Yeah, and then there's the
after a hiatus. Joe was like, "We're hitting the
well." That's what we did. We had to regroup.
Here.
We had to regroup. We got a little bit of equipment and
that was you. Oh, I beat
shipping, some shipping stuff together. And what was I saying? Yeah. So the memorabilia break, though, this is what I feel like the Chop Sports crowd is more interested in the cards. The memorabilia break, we're doing a nice little heater. It's going to be a full size, mini size, and a jersey. $50, you get a spot in all 3, plus a random team for all 3. So, Ken, I already have you marked down for the Steelers. I know you got a $15 credit, so we'll revisit the whole thing. And
yeah, I took some of my fantasy winnings and put it into the break. So now I have claimed the Cowboys. So when Micah Parsons or Zeke Elliott or Dak Prescott's card, helmet, jersey, whatever gets pulled, it's mine, and I want it, and I'm going to put it up in the office.
We got Kyle in the comments talking Broncos.
Let's
country,
ride.
Let's
ride.
Runner pass.
Dude.
Come on, runner pass.
What, dude? First of all,
no. Runner pass. That's all he was doing. It's so bad. Russ.
Russ is the most cringeworthy social media.
But I'll take that.
Everything. I'll take the win.
I will take that.
Trust me. I rode Sean Redden. I think it was Scoop said, we're all on the Broncos, right? And right before the game kicked off. And then Sean Redden said, money line, let's ride. And I was like, I'm with you. So that's what I took, money line, let's go Broncos, and they got it done.
Yeah, the whole ticket yesterday at the Sauce
Bailey's
Network
getting in on the Dolphins, by the way.
The Dolphins are Bobby Fitz already bought them.
Yeah,
if you go, Bailey, if you look over at the Break Buds Instagram right now, you could see there's a post that's, and in the comments of the post is the complete list.
All right. So that is all the plugs for that. Like I said, yesterday, great day over at MetLife Stadium. Myself and Gooch went out and joined up with the Mojo crew. The Mojo Nation was out there giving out cards, doing interviews, having a good time. A lot of drunks at 9:30 in the morning, which was very impressed. I was like, wow, you guys must be really going hard. But it was good to see a bunch of guys out there. We got to see Richie and his Cincinnati family. Do you remember the guy that said he was a porn star?
I do.
Yeah. Okay. So apparently he owns a diamond business.
I know.
You know about that?
He gave me his business card. He's like, oh, it's easier with the email for the business card. Guess what's not on the business card?
What?
His email.
Really? Well, the reason why I bring that up is because his diamond company designed Richie's engagement ring that he gave his girl.
I thought you were about to say that they designed the AFC championship ring.
No, that'd be dope too, though.
Bengals fan.
That would be dope.
No,
but
that is cool. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Anyway,
guys, now you know who designed Richie's ring.
And nobody knows who Richie is at this point, except me and Gooch right now. But he might tune in from time to time. But yeah, a lot of fun yesterday for Mojo. That was a good time. Unfortunately, we'll get into the game in a little bit, but Jets didn't show up to the game, but Bengals sure did. You got yourself a rundown sponsored by the Fusco Insurance Agency. Visit FuscoInsuranceAgency.com. He is our guy over there. He's got a million things going on. FuscoInsuranceAgency.com. Insurance, retirement, wealth planning, you name it. He's doing it. Head on over to FuscoInsuranceAgency.com. Gooch, hit me with the rundown.
Okay, so Major League Baseball, the big story of the weekend was obviously the machine. Yeah. Albert Pujols on the diamond. Oh, wow. He hit 700 home runs. And look, everybody's talking all this craziness that they're serving up home runs. And I get it. I understand. But when you're Albert Pujols and you put yourself in this position, guys are going to challenge you, and I respect it. I'm not going to sit here and say that I think Pujols would have gotten to 700 if they weren't grooving fastballs, but they're not necessarily lobbing them up.
Can I ask you something as far as opinion is concerned? If you were a major league pitcher, right, and you're newish, or maybe you're on the back end of your career, and Albert Pujols steps to bat with 699, like as much as pride as you have as being a major league pitcher, are you taking pride in the fact that you might have given up Pujols is 700.
Well, I know that. I think David Price was the pitcher that gave Jeter's 3,000.
I remember that.
And he was like excited about it. He was like, look, I have done enough in this league. I'm proud of my career. This is another feather in my cap as far as I'm concerned. It's Derek Jeter, right? Same thing with Albert Pujols. And I just wanted to point out, because there was a lot of shit being talked about Pujols for no reason. I mean,
for what?
What's this guy doing? He's just stepping up to the plate. He's not asking no pitcher to groove him a fastball. And there was a guy in a comment section on one of these posts, and it was, show me a video of the last time Albert Pujols hit something besides a fastball over the fence. And I was like, okay, 700 was a slider. So today, literally today.
In real time.
Yeah. Anyway, Albert Pujols, tip your hat. Gotta love Albert Pujols. So keeping it in Major League Baseball, Don Mattingly is apparently on his way out of Miami as the manager. And I know Aaron Boone just set a record. He's like the first Major League manager to ever reach the postseason in his first 5 years. So I don't really want Mattingly anyway, but obviously stir the speculation. It's starting. We're going to get the Mattingly talk very soon.
You're going to get Mattingly. You're going to get Jeter in the office. You're going to get all these guys. We're bringing back
we don't need all that. We don't need all that, because then when it comes time to address certain things that need to be addressed, you're going to have a tough time talking shit about a Don Mattingly, a Derek Jeter. And if they're not living up to their expectations at that job, then they got to go. And I don't want to have.
I don't know if that's a thing.
I just don't think there's any need to attach Jeter to the front office. He has a lot of things happening. Stay away. We don't need you. As much as we love you, we don't need you.
Yankees are 8 games up on the first. It's going to happen within the next couple of days.
Yeah. So keeping it in the division, we talked a little bit about Shane McClanahan being injured, and he has a shoulder situation. They're getting a former Cy Young contender-ish, dealing with a lot of injuries over his career, back on Wednesday in the rotation, and Tyler Glasnow. This guy, when he's healthy, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. The problem is he's never healthy, but good timing, because they could sure use some extra arms over there in Tampa. And speaking of arms, the Mariners locked up our once coveted trade piece in Luis Castillo to a 5-year, a little under 110 over that stretch. Tip your hat to the Mariners as well. Luis Castillo and Julio Rodriguez both signed long-term. They had a rough week in the standings. They blew like an 11-run lead, I think, the other day. But they're hanging on, and I hope to see Seattle in the playoffs, because I like that team. Anything else on baseball? I believe not.
How about Judge? About a little Judge action?
We're going to save that, because Judge is still stuck on 60, right? So nothing of note over the weekend. There is a rain out, so you may have some at-bats left from that game. I don't know if they're going to recontinue. Yesterday, they're tied 2-2. They didn't finish it.
Oh, wow. I thought are you sure?
Or they were winning 2-0, maybe.
Are you sure it's not over? I saw it's over, because I saw Janine say, Janine.
My father was saying something, and I should have known better. Dad, I know you're watching. Never again give me information. But honestly, I don't even think he was giving me information. I think he was asking me the information, and I just was like, yeah.
No, there was a quality tweet. If you guys Red Sox fans out there, for the Jared Carabas, I think he's associated with Barstool. He's a dork, but like, he's a Red Sox guy, and he goes, for the sake of the Yankees, I really hope that they resume this game and Judge hits 61 at like 3 a.m. It's like, well, nobody will be up for that shit. You were worried about Apple TV. Ain't nobody staying up for 3 o'clock in the morning for Judge.
I'm on board. I don't care.
I mean, you're not going to be up for it.
I don't care.
I'm just
There's
saying.
highlights. We're good.
Okay.
So baseball is over.
Okay.
We already established that, right?
Sure.
Sorry, Toast. Baseball is over.
I
Football.
don't even see Toast in here today. So
okay, so football. The NFL finally did what everybody's been waiting for them to do for years and years and years, and no, that is not get rid of Daniel Snyder, although there is news there, which I'll get to. They finally got rid of the Pro Bowl.
Yes.
The Pro Bowl is a thing of the past. They are still going to partake in festivities, which is good for the players. What they're going to do is play flag football. Hopefully it's a 7-on-7 and we could see some left tackles running routes at tight end or whatever you want to call it. A little 3-man line kind of deal, but raise your hand if you're eligible and get Aaron Donald. You could get some both guys going both ways. Pause. I'm talking about football here. But that's very cool. I think that's.
Can they bring back the quarterback challenge? How cool
they
is
might.
that shit?
They might. I feel like
with the chalk on the nose of the football. Like
they finally caught on. I think it was a long time coming. You will probably still see some injuries with the skills contest and this flag football game that they're going to play.
Well, they're doing it in February. I mean, hopefully
it's going to be a lot more fun. It's going to be. What do you mean February?
I'm saying the January, late January,
yeah,
whatever. If something happens where like somebody rolls their ankle, like.
Yeah,
it's over already. Like season's over. Go recover.
Hopefully,
yeah. Nobody's looking.
I'm talking about non-contact injuries.
Oh, ACLs and all
Drew Brees did break his entire elbow in the Pro Bowl
when he was with San Diego.
Yeah, and then that's kind of what caused the whole debacle with Nick Saban, and they moved on. They were about to sign Brees, but then they signed Culpepper because of the physical, and then the rest is history.
Dante Culpepper.
Such a crazy turn of events that how things
the
butterfly effect of that team doctor not passing Drew Brees on his physical for the Dolphins, them subsequently paying Culpepper instead.
Boom.
Anyway, I talked about Daniel Snyder and how that wasn't the news, that Daniel Snyder is not out in Washington, but there is some owners starting to collectively share thoughts. I know these are sources and nothing is coming out as like an owner as a quote, because you'll never hear that. They run a tight ship, but you hear news of the Robert Sarver thing and how they ended up banding together and everybody, players and owners alike, which I feel like the NBA is a lot more progressive in that way. NFL owners seem to be a little more conservative. And I think pointing to the fact that there's the Pro Bowl is gone now, right? And then there's also talks now that NFL owners might be pressing Daniel Snyder to sell the team. So that could be something that you might see soon. I know he's really been adamant about not, but when you don't have the support of the band of brothers that the NFL ownership has been, and there's starting to be a little bit of divide.
It's like, find me an owner that would go public and say like they're backing the Commanders. You can't find one.
Well, you can't publicly, but now it's
not even privately.
It's becoming when you see other things happen around other sports, and you see it now. They've managed to get rid of essentially 2 owners in the NBA now, which when somebody owns something, it's really hard. It's really hard to get rid of them. In this case, I think it's almost imminent. I want to say it's imminent based on the progressive nature of
I think so too.
Where things are headed, and I think it's the right thing to do. So what else do we got? Football. I'm going to circle back here to some. Actually, before I get to the injuries, did anybody see Ken Dorsey react to the Bills losing? Dude, it's week 3, bro. First of all, I know it is the same Ken Dorsey that had the stick legs in at Miami on the quarterback of the best college football roster. Best college football roster arguably ever was that Miami Hurricanes team that Ken Dorsey was the quarterback of. And dude, settle down, right? I feel like there needs to be an apology.
I mean, not really.
And I know that I don't need one. But I know that there.
What about the other coordinator looking at him like
he was like, dude, it's week 3. But I don't know, man. That's how you react to things. Like, what happens if?
Because did you see the last play?
I hope.
I mean, we'll get into it.
But I hate to do this, but I'm about to for comedic purposes. Like, I would hate to be like home with him after he was drunk and his team lost a bet or something. Like, Jesus, bro, chill out. Chill out.
I understand the passion. Okay. This one, but did you see the last play? Like, I would be like, if you have he had the perfect play drawn up and Josh Allen threw it and spiked it into the earth.
So
of course he's like, what?
So do you think that Ken Dorsey had more pain in his soul than Josh Allen
Josh Allen had to be consoled by Tua.
We're gonna get to Tua in a second. As the time expired and Josh Allen realized the game lost, he just undid his chin strap and they felt the same feeling. It's just your reaction is very different. If Josh Allen slammed his helmet, ripped his shoulder pads off, we would be roasting Josh Allen. He would have to make an apology.
Ken Dorsey's getting roasted.
Yeah, by Ghetto Gronk and me.
And everybody else.
And his quarterback's coach that was to his right. Looked like James Franklin, by the way.
Oh
Mac Jones was crying, getting helped off the field. Justin Herbert was not crying, but maybe he should have been because Trevor Lawrence showed the fuck up. And Justin Herbert, he's a gamer. I'm still all in on him. David Montgomery injury. He didn't return, but they're saying that he probably could have returned, but Khalil Herbert was doing well, so there was no reason for it. And they're saying that Montgomery should be good to go. Not a big deal. Back next week. Dalvin Cook dislocated his shoulder.
That's a dislocation?
A dislocation.
Yikes.
I feel like he's had that over the course of his career, but it's never really kept him out long. Nonetheless, a week 3 dislocated shoulder. They're saying that he's going to harness up and play next week against New Orleans in Wembley. I think it's in Wembley.
Oh, yeah, 9:30 in the morning game.
So we're going to see how
baby.
Dalvin Cook responds to wearing a harness and having to deal with the long NFL season with a dislocated shoulder situation. I'm just going to say if Madison's not owned in a league, he's waiver wire 1 right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if Dalvin Cook plays or not. Madison becomes an RB1, mid RB1, 7th running back overall if Dalvin Cook is out. True story. What else? That's it. That is it for my rundown. Back to you, Dave.
All right. So do you want me to continue with injuries or wait until we get to Miami and Buffalo?
Oh, no, that's right. I do want to talk
because I want to talk about that Tua thing.
I literally said I would circle back.
That Tua thing was disturbing to say the least. And I think the Dolphins, as much as it's fun to be a Miami Dolphin fan right now, you're 3-0, right? Everything's kind of clicking and you guys are in deep shit.
There's 2 things.
You're in deep shit because I'm telling you right now, there is no shot in hell that you're gonna convince me that a back injury is gonna make you do the stanky leg. Ain't gonna happen, man. You rocked your head and you almost passed out while trying to run off the field.
Bro,
you violated all the protocols by sending him back in there.
Did you hear Tua's statement? I'm going to talk 2 things. There's 2 reasons why I feel like the Miami Dolphins are in the clear, even though it did look, the optics of it were very bad.
Anything he says is going to be.
Do you want to know? Well, there's 2 things. I don't know. The one thing might have credence, and the second thing I think gives them plausible deniability in regard to when they restructure this whole thing around player safety. It's no longer up to the team doctors. They have an independent doctor on the sideline appointed by the NFL who's looking at players in the tent, and he passed concussion protocol. He was cleared by independent doctors. The reason being was, and this is what he said. He said, I'm dealing with a nerve issue in my back, which is undisclosed up to that point. Guess what? Now it's disclosed.
Bullshit. Go ahead.
Bro. And he said that it was a back thing and his legs were not working. He said I got shut off. It was look at Sean O'Malley when he got kicked. It does happen. I have a sciatica issue, and I don't mean to be put myself in a David Tua, former boxer, Tua Tagovailoa shoes.
Even got a rise out of Anthony on that one.
Shows my depth of knowledge. David Tua, hard hitting southpaw. What was I saying? David Tua, not David Tua. Tua Tagovailoa, back issue. I have a very similar nerve issue in my back.
So Gooch
and there's a lot of times
every time the show's over and Gooch walks out of here, Dave, kind of just
Dave, how many times have you heard me say I literally cannot feel my left leg?
You might also be having a stroke. You might want to get that checked.
It's a sciatica issue, and it does happen.
Are you kidding? They needed to cover this up as good as they possibly could. So what could they have said at the end of the game? Okay, here's what you're going to say, Tua. You're going to go out there and you're going to tell them that you have a nerve issue and your legs just didn't work. Bro, you were on Dream Street, my friend. You were gonzo. You have no idea where you were half the time.
You asked him?
Yes, I spoke to Tua after the game, and he goes, I don't know where I am right now. Listen, the NFL are going to do their investigations. Fine. And they might not find any wrongdoings, but all the smart people that know, especially those who've suffered concussions, which I have.
So wait, the doctor, the doctor that cleared him is not a smart person.
The doctor may have also cashed in on
cowboy hat on that guy. Listen, I'm sure he'd clear him.
Doctor may or may not have had stock in Kyle's parlay.
Dave is now calling for a further investigation, and not only to the
more
Dolphins, but he also wants an investigation into the doctor's stock portfolio and his betting.
No, it's not like a stinger. Like this is different, man.
It was,
but it wasn't. Like, you watch the film, dude. The guy gets up and he's just like, "Whoa, shit!" Like,
bro, you didn't see after the game, he took a lie detector test and everything.
Oh,
Tua was like, "Bro, I swear to God, it's a stinger."
That's the thing. How are the Dolphins being investigated? They weren't even the ones that cleared him to return. The NFL guy did. I understand that. Understood. Completely get it. I know the rule because there's a guy in every Cowboy game with a cowboy hat on from Texas as the independent whatever. He's all over that. But I know there's an independent
guy. He's also married to Jerry Jones.
He's also married to Jerry Jones. But what I'm saying is this. What?
His daughter.
Whatever. What I'm saying is this. It's very, very apparent that there could be some fishy shit happening here. No pun for the Dolphins. This guy was out on his feet. He was out. I don't want to hear about some leg injury or back injury or sciatica or anything like that. They're wrong. They might not be found wrong, but they're wrong. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. That's that.
It's so crazy when you use your opinion to diagnose medical conditions.
I understand that.
That always works out.
I got roasted yesterday. Ready for this? I got roasted yesterday. Does anybody? All right. So when I'm watching, some of the commercials going into halftime, you see like Terry Bradshaw. He's doing like the teasers.
Well, I'm no doctor, but Terry, go see somebody.
Well, I got killed online yesterday because, like I said, I think Terry's brain has waved bye-bye. And like somebody was like, as someone who suffers with Alzheimer's, I'm like, listen, I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying, Terry Bradshaw, it's time to step aside, my man. You are hurting.
Have you ever seen
the broadcast?
Have you ever seen the clip of Michael Irvin talking about, my CTE's acted up?
No, but I'm just saying, Terry Bradshaw is so far gone.
It's like he was basically making fun of the fact that, like,
all right,
if you're a former
first of all, wait.
No, if you're a former NFL player, Michael Irvin thinks that you have the pass on fucking up because you'd be like, oh, my CTE.
Well, fine. But see, here we go. Ken Paulman, Terry is sick. Now, I understand you're a Steeler guy, right? And I'm sure you're going to bat for your hero.
No.
But what I'm saying is, if he's actually sick and there's something actually wrong with this guy, then go get the help and step aside. Like, I'm not saying I need the spotlight. No, just get the fuck out of here and go get help and go get treated and be better.
It's giving me bullshit. It's giving me Pat Summerall towards the tail end.
Yes,
towards the tail end vibes.
Terry Bradshaw, bro, you gotta stop. Look at Sterling. Another one.
Look,
gone.
It's happening.
Completely gone.
I think that it's hard because Terry Bradshaw has been there a long time. He's got good relationships with all the execs over there. It's a tough conversation for those guys. But yeah, that's bad TV. It's cringe. It's hard to watch.
Scoop, I don't hate the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I'm just saying. You guys are all terrible. You're the ones that are going to start making this joke.
Terry Bradshaw is not making any friends with his comments. He says whatever the fuck he wants,
right?
Whoever he wants. So
I'm pretty sure he said something very, very, very bad. He literally went out there, and if you didn't hear this yesterday, he said it. He's talking about two offenses. If he's talking, he goes, those two offenses, it's bukkake. I was like, what? Like,
he didn't say that,
bro.
I don't think he even knows what that means.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He might have heard it before. I'm telling you right now, Terry Bradshaw, I love him. He's a funny dude back in the day. I grew up with Terry Bradshaw on my Fox NFL Sunday, and all my dad and the Ken Paulmans of the world. You guys watch them play, and my dad probably hates his guts.
I like Terry Bradshaw until
I'm saying
went
the
to
guys gotta go, and Dave CTE is not acting up. It will be diagnosed when I'm far gone. But it's not a good look, not for Fox, not for anybody. It's almost like it's almost like taking your license away from your grandma or grandpa. Like, hey, look, it's time to stop.
Yeah, let's fucking stop too. We got so many games to talk about.
Terry
Bradshaw, we get it. You're not doing
Graham Cracker coming in. Breaking news. Kobe Bryant's dead. My God. We're just getting breaking news everywhere. All right. Before we get into all of the Sunday slate, sorry for my Terry Bradshaw rant. And like I said, I don't hate you, Terry. I think you're a funny dude. I just think that, look, you probably have a wonderful family. Go enjoy your days with them. Like, there's no reason for you to sit there and spew on Fox NFL Sunday. Anyway, quick reads real quick. We're let you know we heard you because I'm now CT's kicking in. I'm all over the place right now.
Dave let Terry Bradshaw get the best of him last night, and it's carrying over into the show.
He did. You know what it was? It was the guy who commented on my Twitter. I was trying to make a joke, and he's like, somebody who's living with somebody suffering from blah, blah. I'm like, dude. Like, I didn't say, like, oh, yeah, everybody with Alzheimer's, you guys are dorks and losers. Like, no, man.
Wait, anyway, yeah, we're not gonna.
I'm just saying.
I don't
like,
want to
I didn't want.
that.
I didn't want it to make it look like I was being inconsiderate. You know what I'm saying? As far as that's concerned, if there's something wrong, and I'm a big advocate on all sorts of mental illness, if there's something wrong, go get fixed. That's all. That's all.
What was the first game?
Well, I gotta go. We gotta read some sponsors first, my friend. Right. So before we get into that, we do want to let you guys know that the Chop Sports Show right here is being brought to you in part by, we talked about it before, the Fusco Insurance Agency. I will touch back up on Hater Fantasy Sports. They had a live game this past weekend. I did not find out the winner. I can't log into my app right now for whatever reason. My apps are just shit right now. Special shout out to our friends over at Dat Chat who are doing all the blockchain, NFTs, the metaverse. Everything that they're doing over there is very, very creative stuff. If you haven't actually looked up Dat Chat, do so. They're a small startup, but they got very big very fast. They were invested by Dave Portnoy of Barstool for a little bit, and so they're making waves over there at Dat Chat. And of course SteveAspara.com for chopsportsmedia.com, and our friends down the hall at Low L's doing our merchandise and everything like that, which is a godsend, to be honest with you, because those guys are putting in the work down the hall. First, take care of your grundle, then we'll get into the week one slate.
My grundle's taken care of, but I want to take care of your grundle.
Oh, okay.
Not me personally. Pause. Not me personally. You're going to have to do that part. But I'm going to give you a little bit of help. If you go over to manscaped.com and use the promo code ShopSports, you get 20% off. And you know what that 20% off gets you? Anybody? It gets you a pair of clean-shaven balls. And we know it's supposed to be grundle season, but we're going to skip that because it's 2022 and nobody wants a mouthful of ass hair. Anyway, you get the point. Promo code ShopSports, manscaped.com. Almost dropped my pen, but didn't. I got good hands, baby. I don't know where I'm going with this.
The guy shook your hand yesterday. He's like, you got soft hands. I love people.
I was like, I'm just nervous. That's sweat.
You're right. We're doing this for the first time.
That was my first interview.
I'm nervous.
That was my first interview.
Yes. First time. First time here, folks.
I'm going to start using the foot deodorant on my hands.
Because it smells delicious.
When I have to go meet somebody, it's a terrible situation for me.
It smells absolutely delicious.
But anyway, manscaped.com, promo code ShopSports.
Kyle coming in. Yo, can someone explain to me why Justin Herbert is playing late in the fourth quarter with fractured ribs, down 30 points? Who made that decision?
That coach.
Maybe the same coach who's been making all his bad decisions lately.
Whew. Yeah, he's not doing well. Speaking of not doing well, and nobody's doing well in the survivor pool, another 120 people bounced yesterday.
On what pick?
The Chiefs.
Oofa.
What pick? How many games do you think people were getting smoked yesterday, bro? I think people got beat on the 49ers. People were getting beat. There was another game that was
I survived another week in the
A couple people took the Raiders. More people than I thought should take the Raiders. Took the Raiders. What was another upset yesterday?
I mean, there's plenty on here. So, I mean, like,
Bills.
The Jaguars,
the Bills, Dolphins,
Chargers to take.
People pick the Chargers.
So people pick the Chargers even with the up in the air status of Herbert.
Yeah, because a lot of people make the picks sometimes early and then don't revisit. I don't know how many people pick the Chargers. I definitely saw them on there, but we're down to like 100 people out of 780 or something like that, and I am one of those 100. I'm looking for this big cash payday, and we'll have a party.
Let's start with the first game on the docket, and that is the local front. You said it, Gooch. We said it here on the show that the Jets would find a way to look like the Jets again, and that's what they did. And the Bengals came out there, spanked them up a little bit. We all cash bets on this one. This one was easy. Just so everybody is aware, heading into tonight's Monday Night Football game, myself and Gooch on this show, let's all preface it by this show that the picks are made on Friday. So obviously if Gooch, changes it up at all, he changes it up. Me and Gooch are sitting here at 21-26 as Rob. Gooch is 21-20. Don't try to do it again.
Bro, we can't do this shit.
21-26, and so am I, okay, against the spread. And Rob is 17-30. So, and of course, Tooth Anthony over there is 3-0. On Thursday Night Football picks.
I'm at a point in my life now where I'm considering boycotting making picks on
So what
Friday.
The hell are we doing Lean Fridays for?
Leaning. But like making the picks, it makes me crazy because, bro, it's not.
You know what? I'm going to make you a bet right now. There's not a single person that watches this show, consumes this content, that comes back to you and says, no, he picked this.
No. But here's my point. When you're watching a show, right?
Mm-hmm.
So guys, hey, how you doing? You're watching, right? Hey, we're 11-58. We're about to break down these games.
What? So you want to lie to the masses and be like, by the way, that's not our record.
I'm not 11-58. That's the lie. That's actually the lie.
No, you're not 11-50. You're 21 and 26.
You get the point. That's the
Yeah,
lie.
I understand.
That's the lie. So it's just tough for me. Hard day on Monday. But I'll tell you this: if I lean 10-2, we could talk about it all you want. But
listen, we rode with Kyle's ticket yesterday. We cashed, my man. Like everybody ate dinner heavily last night. Okay, and we even rode with the Broncos. But well, we'll get into the Swift news. I didn't read anything about that. So Jamal Williams, hello. But yes, so back to the Jets. They seemed like they couldn't get anything going. It's one of those games where I think all the Jets fans are like, that was great. Hey, Flacco, thanks for doing your thing, man. It's time for Zach. And it's absolutely time for Zach Wilson to get in this offense. If he misses another game, I question his toughness at this point. I'm sorry. You got to get back in there.
Dr. Dave at it again.
Yep, Dr. Dave is here, and I'm here to say that your stupid little torn meniscus that I've done before,
if it's not healed yet,
big deal. Like what?
If it's not healed yet, you're a pussy.
Yes, diamond upside down status. All right, get your ass back in the game because they need you. But you know who didn't need him? Garrett Wilson, still eating. Okay, he's still eating, and he's still very good at football. Turns out he's going to be the wide receiver one. That's like a foregone Dunzo thing. Like, he is the best, most talented receiver on that team. But flip side of that, Cincinnati took care of business. Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd on the opening drive. We were obviously driving back, listening to that. I was like, Boyd, and then Boyd, and then Boyd. I was like, Jesus Christ.
And then the Higgins thing, which, by the way, Higgins was not a touchdown. I know I have him in 38 leagues. I have some mojo stock to Higgins out of bounds. I understand, guys, but it didn't affect anything negatively. They scored anyway.
Yeah, see, there you go. Kyle is coming in with your suggestion of the day. Chris, just tweet out your final picks so they're public and keep that record.
Well, I have to be honest. A lot of my final picks are off of the VIP, so I feel like that would be that's just stealing. Like, so if it's my picks, if I'm picking the full slate,
maybe in the event of a fade.
So Kyle, I'll talk to you about that because it's almost something that I wanted to address with you.
He wants a Gooch
on
says.
Sunday. I wanted to, no,
Okay.
Not at all. I was saying, like, I don't want to put my picks out there because Kyle is putting his picks out there. And a lot of the times I'm kind of tailing the sauce. So it would be like, if people know that, it's like you're getting Kyle's.
You know what my strategy is of late? My strategy is of late.
Integrity matters here at Chop Sports.
With the sauce, my strategy is this. I usually play his top plays, right? And if I don't agree with it, if I don't agree with one, I just don't play it. You know what I mean? So I don't.
First of all, I fade the shit out of whoever. I don't give a fuck.
I'm not going to fade Kyle. Kyle's maybe 15 units in 3 weeks.
I will fade. I'll fade anybody on earth.
Units, but they're 15
Bro,
units.
if you do the work and he, like, even every bet, their point spreads are there because it's like, it's supposed to be a dart throw. You know what I mean? Like, you ever see football pools? Like, my mother's dominant. She does know more than the average woman, but
smarter than the average mom.
Smarter than the average mom. Football family. What could I say?
Yeah, I can only imagine.
What's up, Mom?
I can only imagine. Scoop says insert dog shit in. So the Scoop says has been canceled, by the way. Anyway, so back to this game. Bengals take care of business. The Jets, again, they'll right the wrongs when they get Zach back, and I think things will pick up there. They do look good in spurts so far within the first 3 weeks of football. I'm not worried about the Jets right now, especially if they get their boy back. What I am going to say is, it looks like a little bit of a revenge game.
Can we revisit the Jets record 5-0? Did you have them going?
Yes.
Don't think that I'm going to let that one go.
Yeah, Zach Wilson was also their quarterback.
Oh, yeah. Ryan Fitzpatrick broke his hip week 1 and didn't play again the rest of the season last year.
So what?
Wait, who was the starting quarterback in preseason for the Commanders last year?
Tyler Heineke. Ish. Don't give me that look, bro.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Wait a minute. So you're gonna ride? Are you gonna ride me? Pause. Because of the fact that I had the Jets winning 5 in a row because Zach Wilson was the quarterback. I didn't predict the Jets to go 15-2. I said they're gonna go 5-0 with Zach Wilson, and they don't have Zach Wilson. Therefore, they don't go 5-0.
I think you predicted a double-digit Jet win season.
I might have said 10-7, and right now they're sitting at 1-2. You're telling me it's impossible?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Guess we'll revisit that shit next down in December ski.
Yes.
We'll do that.
It is definitely not possible.
Anywho, the Panthers from the staff for sure. I did rely on you guys for the Panthers. I listen. I took that pick. Anyway, let's move on. Second game on the docket. What do we got, Ant? Yes, back to the snooze alert known as the Packers and the Bucks. So if you're looking for air raid and high intensity, you didn't get it here. Why?
If you were looking for that here, you also don't know football.
Right. Both of these defenses are very good so far. I think in this one, I think the referees honestly gave Brady every chance to stay in this game. And I don't like blaming refs, but when it's so goddamn obvious, I hate the whole, like, when the clock strikes 0, The referee has to look down at his watch, and then he looks up. And by the time they looks up, if that ball's not snapped, that's a delay. No, when the clock runs out, that's it. I'm sorry. I know the rule, but it's like so dumb. The clock struck 0. That's it. It's a delay game.
I think
they tried it twice.
The reason why it sucks is because it gives interpretation to a thing that should have none. Like it should be a bell. Like it shouldn't even be the rest.
It should be like a horn, like an air horn,
like a shot clock. Shot clock.
Yes.
How easy would that be? But I mean, that doesn't matter because here's the reason why it might suck. You can't really do that because of calls. So if it is at the final bell, and then
you tell me there's no calls on the field of a basketball game? People are talking.
No. I'm talking about like trying to make reads and things like that, and you got a linebacker saying something, and then they would have to either know like, okay, we'll get ready for the horn, and then not blow it if he snaps it.
I tell you what, right now, ready? I don't have a whistle, but let's just say the whistle's in my mouth, right? Let's just say there's a whistle in my mouth, and I got a beeper on my side. As soon as that shit goes, like in that moment, a buzzer goes off on the hip of the referee, and then as soon as that happens, he has his whistle in his mouth already.
I feel like that would be the same thing because then he could still be like,
is this a text
or
give
it a tick?
I'm just saying. Anyway, they gave Brady a bunch of chances. He still didn't take advantage. The Packers get it done.
I'll tell you the turning point in this game, though. You know what I'm about to say.
I know what you're
right?
about to say because you said it all morning.
So obviously the fumble by Aaron Jones at the goal line, we would have went up 21-3 right there. That was a big play. That wasn't the turning point, though, because the Packers still kind of dominated the next couple series. The turning point in this game was the time when the Packers got called for running into the kicker. They had Tampa backed up on their own one on 4th down, and it was a holding call on Tampa Bay, and the guy threw the Packer player into the kicker. Amari Rodgers returns it to the 30 on that play, or 32, and they redo the whole play. They end up getting a redo on the kick. It's a booming kick, and then they call the Packers for a garbage bullshit penalty on that subsequent kick return, and really it was a 65-yard swing.
Yeah.
So it took points off the board because we were already in field goal range on the return, and the Packers didn't touch field goal range the rest of the game. So they didn't even
testament to the Bucs defense playing good, but
they played well. They made the adjustments they needed to make.
Along with multiple other calls,
that changed everything, and then it led to immediate points from Tampa on the 3 and out. It was bullshit. That changed a lot, and didn't matter in the end because Tom Brady's looking old out there.
He literally looks like the skull emoji at this point. You know, that when people are like, "I'm dead," like an Ashley thing.
Yeah, he had a tough time. He had a tough time yesterday. The Packers defense, they played really well. I know that there was a little bit of help with the Tampa Bay depleted receiving
they had
core.
nobody, literally nobody.
They had nobody. But it wasn't that. It was a lot what I thought they were going to do. They played a lot more man coverage, and they were able to. But Jair was out too, so he left in the first quarter, which is another story altogether. But they managed to just completely take away the run game. Leonard Fournette did not exist last night whatsoever, and the depleted receiving core allowed them to just play man on the outside. Tampa Bay had nowhere to go. I like what I see out of the Packers defense. I like the fact that a couple receivers, mainly Romeo Doubs, stepped up and made big plays in the absence of Sammy Watkins, of all people. Who would have ever thought he wouldn't be playing?
Danny Boy coming in, my bros. Late to the show, wants to say what's up. See you later, Dave. Let's go Cowboys. See you at Dad's at 5 o'clock. Let's get this shit
the Packer segment, Danny.
Perfect timing to segue to the next game because I'm tired of talking about the Packers.
But yeah, Packers are 2-1. Big road win against Tampa. In Tampa, haven't had success there. Exercise that Tom Brady demon for Aaron Rodgers is a big win for us. So I'm happy about it.
Moving on.
Covered.
Yes, we did. All right, moving on to the game of the week, really. And the Niners Buccaneers, Niners Broncos. It didn't matter who the fuck the Niners were playing. I am worried about this Bronco team. The team that's 2-1 right now in the Denver Broncos with a win here. Like, holy God. Like, they just couldn't move anything. It was horrible. Russ Wilson, it took it to the very end. And, of course, Chris Collinsworth at the very end was like, oh, there you go. That's the Russ Wilson we're all waiting for.
I got to be honest.
One drive.
Got to be honest. When the 49ers punted the ball back to Russ previous to the game-winning touchdown drive,
Dubs.
I checked. I was just like, they threw up a graphic. It was Russ Wilson's fourth quarter. I was like, I know this guy's such a dork. And he's giving out orange slices at halftime and all that good stuff. But he's a dominant fourth quarter quarterback in his history. And I caught the Broncos plus 240 live and it cashed. One of my 3 money line chases in the day.
A couple parlay skis too, by the way, of the Sauce Network.
I chased the Raiders at like plus 950 when they were down 2 or 3 scores, and they actually should have tied that game up. That was a close one, and I thought the Chargers might have had a shot, so I threw a little bit there.
Knee-jerk reaction here. Niners offense is bums, or the Broncos defense is that good?
Both.
That wasn't the question.
Both. Like the 49ers offense has some real struggles right now. Jimmy G, like they're going to rely on that defense to win games and run the ball effectively. You're going to see a lot of that type of football. The 49ers won a lot of games that way. But if you can remember last year, the 49ers did not start the season well. They got going in the second half. You could probably see that same thing. They're still a physical football team. They have a really good defense. Like that defense looked really good yesterday.
Yeah.
I know that there's major issues in Denver right now. Mainly their head coach.
Right. The coach is just
but Denver got escaped with the win. And look, all the issues that they got, they're 2-1.
On top of the AFC West, which, by the way, we all picked, well, at least most of us, or a majority of us, were like, AFC West is going to be amazing. I think they're like 500 collectively total, which is like kind of crazy.
When you say all of us, you mean like all of you guys? Or was I like, I feel like the AFC West isn't that good? Because I did say that.
That was very, very, like, that sounded very, like,
told you so.
Trumpage. You're like, oh, yes,
get him off.
Turn these lights off. Anyway, get out of this game. This game stunk.
I said there's wolf tickets in the AFC West.
I want to talk about this one in particular, the Ravens and the Pats. Now, look, the Ravens go out there, take care of business. I want to make a comparison here.
Where did all these points come from?
I know. I want to make a comparison here. Lamar Jackson is the Aaron Judge of football, because my man turned down all that money. He's betting on himself. And now this dude is lighting the world on fire again. And I don't look at, as a passer, still don't like him. Of course, he's making plays. He's doing his thing. He's dropping some dimes in bucket. I get it. But as a runner and as a superstar player, Lamar Jackson has completely banked on himself. He's taking care of business. And oh, by the way, the Patriots suck. But that's just my Lamar Jackson take. Because this dude is unbelievable.
The Patriots played their asses off in this game for a team that does suck. They almost pulled it out. A couple of different times they found themselves in a position. I think the Mac Jones injury really derailed any chances there. But they did hit a team total over that I was all about yesterday. So I'm happy about that. Patriots offense looked better than it has in weeks 1 and 2, but it's still really, they got to figure things out in terms of who's calling the shots over there with their offense, because nobody knows. I don't even think they know.
Right. It's tough sledding over there, man.
Mac Jones is probably dealing with a ligament injury, not only just a high ankle sprain, so the ligament could keep him out a little bit longer.
Brian Hoyer season with a ZN.
Nobody's excited. I don't know. It's the prospects for the Patriots are looking bleak. Lamar Jackson right now, if I know it's week 3, but he's the MVP right now. It's not even close.
I would say there's a 3-man race right now, and it's him, it's Tua, and it's probably there was somebody else I had in my mind.
Josh Allen.
But even he looked like dude.
Or Mahomes. I mean,
whatever. But I'm saying Lamar Jackson is in the conversation.
I think Lamar
being touted.
Lamar's right
How
now.
funny is that, though? Look, Aaron Judge about to win MVP, betting on himself. Look at Lamar Jackson doing his thing in 3 weeks. And look,
I hate to bring up MVP week 3.
No, I understand.
We all know Aaron Rodgers.
Tell that to the Philadelphia Eagles fans chanting MVP when Jalen Hurts is running off the field. I'm the Philadelphia Eagles fan.
That's all good. That's all good.
It's all good. Yeah, it's all good. It's all dumb.
Bro. One guy says it and then a chant, they're drunk. It's a game. Fine. Nobody really thinks Jalen Hurts is the MVP.
All right. Moving on. What else we got? New viewer
MVP.
New viewer BJ, obviously a Kyle guy.
To do that?
Be sure to like the video, please. If you guys are watching this right now, please like the video. That would help us out tremendously, not dramatically. But anyway, speaking of those said Eagles, they moved to 3-0 with a 24-8 solid 8 score there by the Washington Commanders, who are a complete dumpster fire. Carson Wentz, I'm sorry, dude. There's going to be times where he's going to really throw up a 350, 400-yard passing day. People will be like, that's the Carson Wentz. No, guy stinks at football. He's not good. He plays for a poverty team. The Commanders are garbage until he lights up the Cowboys next week.
Carson Wentz is like, bro, he got sacked 9 times yesterday.
9 times. Like, Ferris fucking Bueller.
We're going to give Carson Wentz the pass. You can say what you want about him. He didn't play well, but who would have, really? You got sacked 9 times.
Dude.
Nobody's playing well when you get sacked like that.
Can't win with him. Can't do it.
I don't know. It was a combination of the Eagles D-line, which is very good, or where was anyone trying?
I don't think so.
Out there?
Because they're all just like, you know what? We got this guy, Tyler Haneke, and Sam Howell all just chilling there behind. All of a sudden, if you're on the mojo market, you can also see that their stock rose a little bit. The backup quarterbacks of the Washington Commanders stock has risen, my friends.
Yeah,
that's because people don't believe in Carson Wentz.
No, it's because of the fact that the offensive line is trash, and it's only a matter of time before
Mike is going to eat next week.
If he's getting, I mean, they're going to triple team him.
Okay, cool. But we got a bunch of other guys.
Yeah, no, I know. Anyway,
go ahead. Back on your beloved
Carson
Commanders.
Wentz can't get sacked 10 times a fucking game. Otherwise, he'll be injured. To keep it in terms of the mojo, yeah, that's why. You know,
he's getting banged around. Anyway, let's move off this game. The Eagles are 3-0. Yay them. Don't care. We talked about this a little bit, but the Fins and the Bills, obviously the Fins, big win here for the Miami Dolphins. They're holding at the very end. Like I said, their offense was what's the word? Humming for a little while. But Tua thing, we already touched on the Tua thing, but he stays in the game and he wins this game. Josh Allen has a chance to get back into this game. They do score at the end, right? And they missed the 2-point conversion, right? That's all.
No, they just ran out of time. They
had That's right. Sorry.
And the
they pull the old Cowboys and can't get to the clock on time. But
the shitty part was like they were in field goal range.
I know. Tyler Bass would 100% hit that field goal. 100%. Like almost 1,000%. And he's already missed one that day. So you know he ain't missing two. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The Dolphins are 3-0. Now I'm going to ask you this, Gooch, with that division the way it is, the Jets playing like, right? And then the Patriots are garbage. Can they run with the Bills? They just beat the Bills. Can they run with the Bills this season all year long? 3 weeks in, I know it's early, but
all right. So I'll say a couple things about this right now. There's two things. One, Miami's offense didn't look as good as it did in the week before that. Obviously, Buffalo's secondary was equally as depleted, if not worse,
yeah, they were banged
than the Ravens.
Micah Hyde's going to miss the rest of the year.
So
it sucks.
Maybe we were a little too ahead of ourselves on like how dominant that passing attack can be, even though they did what they needed to do. I expected a little bit more out of the passing game. I definitely expected more out of the running game. There's real issues with the offensive line, I think, in Miami. And the thing about Miami, though, is their defense is real deal good because Buffalo's offense was at full strength yesterday. Miami's not typically like a hostile environment to go play in. So I didn't expect it to be like a crowd issue. And they did a really good job against the Bills.
Yeah.
Held them to just 19 points. I don't know how many times you're going to see that this year. The Bills held to under 20. Not many.
Not going to happen.
So the Dolphins, no. I think they're going to be good because their defense, but we'll see how this shakes out when they have to go up north to Buffalo with a full healthy secondary if it can get to that point. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like Dolphins are good. The win was good. But it's at home. It's a division game. I'm not going to crown them yet. The Dolphins don't do well when it gets cold out. Historically, you're going to have to win when it gets cold out in that division. They're the only team playing down south.
Truth be told. All right, we're moving on. But the Dolphins, like I said, 3-0, one of the last remaining undefeated teams in the NFL. Moving on to a game that we kind of saw coming. The one thing I want to say is that I think the Cardinals, and I've said this, they weren't going to be a good football team this year, and I'm kind of getting proven right on this. But the Rams are going to ram, and they're going to do their thing. Bro, Cooper Kupp gets the ball in an end around and scores from like 25 yards out. I was like, what can't this guy do? Cooper Kupp is one of the best players in football right now. And the Rams, look, avenging their first week loss to the Bills, where everybody's like, oh, is this a Super Bowl hangover? Like, they came out last 2 weeks, and they're doing work. They're doing exactly what we all thought they were going to do. But my main concern now is on the Cardinals, bro. Like the Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury-led Cardinals. Like, these guys might be the basement dwellers of the NFC West outside of Seattle. So maybe the third basement, though, a secondary basement dweller. But I just don't see the Cardinals being a good football team, bro. I just don't.
Yeah, they had late game heroics out of Kyler Murray, got them their only win. They've looked really bad defensively in the first half of all three games that they've played. So that's alarming. You need to come out a little bit more with a little bit more energy on the defensive side of the ball. You're not going to win football games trying to cover on the back door. You might cover some spreads. And the Rams did scare the shit out of me too, because it's been too many times that I see this team build a big lead and then cost me money in the fucking second half. So thank you for that, Rams. But really, it was just the Cardinals aren't that good. I think Kingsbury, for all the credit he was getting preseason, about some of these lists had him like top 5 coaches in the league. That's a garbage fucking list. I'm not putting credence to it, but Some people think that he's like this new.
I think he's back in college in 2 years.
I think it might be less, but I don't know. He got a big deal, so we'll see.
Doesn't matter. Those teams will eat those contracts. Anyway,
the Cardinals aren't good. The Rams, we know they're going to be here to stay. It's going to be fun to watch Aaron Donald catch passes in the new Pro Bowl.
Game of the week next, and that is the Jacksonville Jaguars taking care of business against the Los Angeles Chargers. Guys, this Jaguars team, and I went back and I gave Scoop receipts because Scoop was in the chat yesterday saying nobody believed in them. Nobody. I gave the Jaguars 8 wins this year, so I'm on my way. All right, but the Jaguars look really good, and Trevor Lawrence looks like the guy that they want him to be. And we said it on the Mojo Market Report this morning that this guy, with the right guidance, Dougie P is the quarterbacks guy. He's the head coach, obviously, but like he's worked with decent quarterbacks before, or at least made them look decent. All of a sudden, this Jaguars team, fun to watch, and they stomp and spark the Chargers. No pun.
Or pun.
Or maybe a pun.
So
they were electrifying.
Kyle wants to skip this game because the Jags are filth and so are their fans. I can't disagree there. You ever see that pool? It's fucking murky.
Oh my God. Can you imagine how many people piss in that pool? Piss in that pool, man.
Yeah, that's gross.
Oof. Like I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm like, well, I'm already here.
What's not gross? It's this Doug Peterson, Trevor Lawrence, Christian Kirk led offense with James Robinson with a little bit of splashes from Etienne. Who was the guy? Who else caught a touchdown? Marvin Jones. They're spreading the ball. Zay spreading the ball around. Was it Marvin or Zay?
I thought it was Zay. Both. Probably both. No, I think it was Zay. Zay Jones definitely scored.
I think they both scored.
I think they both scored.
So yeah, Trevor Lawrence spreading the wealth. I was talking a little bit.
He scored 38 fucking points.
Talking a little bit of shit.
I think that's all. They all scored.
I was talking a little bit of shit about Trevor Lawrence throughout last week because just the guy doesn't move the needle for me, and I don't think he moves the needle for his teammates in the pregame.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to.
But he could fling it, and he's a mobile quarterback that doesn't look to run, and that's always a good thing for a young guy. I gotta do a 180 on Trevor Lawrence. It's very rare that you'll see me do this, but after watching him and then banking on the fact that he was the number 1 pick and they touted as high as everybody else touted him, you got to give Urban Meyer debacle really fucked him for year 1. Trevor Lawrence.
What are they saying? Both too? Up. Oh, both. The scoring.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's saying both. And Kyle's asking a very pivotal question. Do we ever get through a show without Mike Illwilly mentioning Ohio State University? It's every show. It's like, and I know Mike probably doesn't do it on purpose. Like he just brings it up.
He does. He's a big Michigan fan, but nobody else cares, Mike. Just you.
Wait, he's a big Michigan fan. He mentions Ohio State
with me and him.
Oh, you're back to feuding with Hawaii, Florida, Mike.
He's a Michigan fan. Did Tom Brady even fucking play a snap at Michigan, or was he just bad there?
No, he was there.
Fuck Tom Brady. Anyway,
game's over, Coach. Let it go. Let it go. You win.
Meyer, thanks for the thorough explanation.
Moving on.
And when could you get comfortable starting Etienne? When James Robinson gets hurt.
James Robinson is RB1 going forward. Like that's the proof is in the pudding, folks. That's already done.
You're gonna end up having to sit him, and then he's gonna start, and then he's gonna have like a splash game where he blows up on your bench, and you're gonna be like, oh, I could finally start him, and then he's gonna shit the bed again.
Agreed.
You're warned.
Moving on.
Happening.
Chiefs Colts yesterday. Obviously, this was the crazy one. I think it was Kyle who was vouching for the Colts to come back and win this game and come out of their little rut that they were in. He said that the curse is over. They're going to play good. Look, they didn't play great. They played enough. And the Chiefs, which, by the way, some drama over there in Kansas City, all of a sudden, you got Mahomes, who's the star of the league, yelling back and forth with Eric Bieniemy, who Bieniemy has been the runner-up for basically every head coaching job available in the last 5 years. They're yelling back and forth at each other. And then you got a guy, this is what makes me mad. It's like a guy that went there. Would you say LaShawn McCoy had a successful run with the Chiefs? Successful. Like, I know it's like define success, but like, do you think when you look at Shady McCoy, you don't think Chiefs, right?
No, but motherfucker got paid and he played.
That's not my question. My question is, you don't think of him as a Chief, right? You think of him as an Eagle.
No.
Right. So for him to open his mouth about Bieniemy, I don't know if you heard this, but
I did.
It's just such, it's not your sour grapes. This is
another
bullshit.
Classic case where me and you do not agree.
So you want him out there talking shit about the coach that didn't want him on the field anymore?
Well,
like, that makes a lot of sense.
I think, especially in this,
you don't know how to call it offense because you're off the field.
If they don't like each other, and there was like, he said basically what a fact that I guarantee you that a lot of players that were on that team agree with. He said that's all Bieniemy does is he argues with the players.
So then why is he there?
Like it didn't look to me like Pat Mahomes was instigating that.
Mahomes wanted to go for points.
Yeah.
And the enemy's like, look, let's just get back in the second half. We got this. Let's get out of here. Let's run this clock out. And Mahomes Mahomes, if there's any quarterback in the league right now who can drive a team down the field in like 8 seconds, he's the guy, right? So like you would think that based off of history, you would look at Patrick Mahomes like, if we're going to get field goal range, which by the way, they didn't have a field goal kicker. They got the guy off the street from the Jets.
He did really good in his first game. Amendola.
Yeah, but fine. But like he also missed one in this game, I think. So like let's not get crazy. If they had Harrison Butker, I'd say get to the 40 and see what he can do. But they didn't have him. So maybe Bieniemy was like, look, even if we get to the 40, we're gonna punt. You know what I mean? Like it's not even like a thing. But for Shady McCoy to come out and start talking and blabbing and all this other shit, like there's no reason for that because one, they got rid of you. It's not like you retired I understand you left the game, but like there was no more room for you, bro. There was no more room for
right away.
So of course there's beef. It wasn't getting on the field when he was there anymore. And the guy didn't give him a ring.
It had nothing to do with. I don't think it had to do with the playing time. It was more like the personality. They didn't like each other. And if right now Shady McCoy is not in the league, what the fuck else is he going to do on a Sunday when he's sitting there watching football? He probably wasn't like, you know what? Everybody might talk about this if I tweet this out. Bad idea. Like it was probably like, yo, I bet you if I tweet this out, everybody's gonna be. I'll be on podcast all week.
Yep.
So yeah, Shady, do your thing.
I get it. All right,
honestly,
moving on.
Gave us a fucking 10-minute segment.
It did.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Shady. We appreciate you. A bad situation right now is developing in Las Vegas as they move to 0-3 on the season. They've lost 3 games, the total combined by 13 points. So this team is right there. But now's not the time to play like right there. You know what I mean? Like they got a division to compete with, and starting 0-3 in a division that's full of 2-1 teams now, that's a recipe for playing catch up for a long time. And now Derek Carr has to be Houdini all of a sudden. He has to make plays because if he doesn't, this team ride and dies with Derek Carr's play. And unfortunately for him, like we saw a little bit out of Mac Hollins yesterday, which great. He showed some moxie, right? And he showed some mojo stock too, shot through the roof. But overall, you got Devontae Adams over there for a reason. And I understand like people are like, well, it's going to take him a couple weeks. Bro, they played in college. It's not like, it's not like you've never seen the guy before. And he's only gotten better skill-wise. So this shouldn't be happening to the Raiders. What is the problem in Vegas, Critch? Critch, remember that? Chris and Gooch. Chris and Gooch. Hey, yeah, Shane, what's the problem? Vegas,
I think that maybe they need to change up their offensive approach, G. The problem is that Devontae Adams is there, and he should be a Packer.
Oh, okay.
No.
And
I really think the problem starts with their head coach first. I think Josh McDaniels is a failed experiment in Denver, and he will be a failed experiment in Vegas. And that's a shame because I like the Raiders. My buddy's a Raider fan.
Yeah, we collectively have Raider support here. One of my best friends is a Raider fan.
It's tough, man. It's the wheels already came off the season that everybody had high expectations that the secondary is living up to the billing that they aren't good.
Mm-hmm.
Although it was more like
I think you said yesterday. That. I think you said that earlier in the preseason that the Raiders secondary was going to have some problems.
It's going to have some issues. And how many teams, especially in that AFC, but there's some really good teams out there, and not many.
See, Hawaii Mike is playing with it. Raiders lost to Ohio State in the script.
Not many 0-3 teams have fought back and made the playoffs. I feel like the Colts may have done it.
It's really good, Hawaii Mike.
A couple years ago. Not positive, though. But, yeah, very rare that you're going to see that.
Not easy, that's for sure.
So, Devontae, enjoy.
Yeah, that game stunk out loud for them. So, moving on to the Falcons and the Seahawks. Again, these are lesser teams right now. Okay. I mean, we don't expect much out of either of these teams, but we do respect the Falcons for covering and cashing that bet. That's all I'll say about that. Mariota is playing serviceable right now. He played the Seahawks. The Seahawks came back down to life after their first week 1 feel-good win. They're now 1-2. So it's just like those teams are going to keep kind of.
The Falcons are potentially this season's Detroit Lion team where they're going to be
pesky.
I feel like the Atlanta, something about them. I don't know. I'm in on Atlanta as much as I don't think they're going to win football games. I like Mariota.
Cordarrelle Patterson's getting the ball in his hands every third
As long as Mariota could stay healthy, like that offense has playmakers, and guess what? They have some playmakers on the defensive side of the ball too. They match up well against certain teams, and they're going to be able to take advantage of that. And that division they play in.
Well, you're saying if Mariota stays healthy, what if do you think they could be a better, highly octane offense with a Ritter behind center?
I do eventually. I do like Ritter a lot. Size, all that. He's got all the tools. But right now, Mariota, he's been around a while and he knows how to run an offense. And he could improvise when the protection breaks down a little bit. And I'm not saying Ritter can't, but I think Mariota, when he was touted out of Oregon, he was a top pick. Was he number 2 pick behind Winston or something like that? So Mariota, he's got the pedigree. He just hasn't been able to put it together. But you saw him with the Raiders last year. A couple of times he got in the game. He played well. They have some weapons, so he has some weapons at his disposal. I think that the Falcons are going to be competitive all year long.
All right, moving on. What else we got here? Yes, Baker Mayfield getting his first win as a Carolina Panther. I picked this one last week, and I rode the sauce tail on this one too. The Panthers get the win. The Saints don't look that good, man. Listen, Olave had himself a decent game stats-wise. Jameis Winston struggled a lot. The Panthers look better. McCaffrey looks upright. Not saying that the Panthers are going to do much this season, but shout out to DJ Moore, you bum, for blowing all sorts of just chunks on Sunday. But anyway, they get the job done. Carolina gets their first win under the Baker Mayfield umbrella, that is. And it's a good look for Carolina.
Yeah, that umbrella probably costs like $2 at a dollar store.
What if I wanted to sell you this umbrella right here? Remember that thing? No? Yeah, okay.
I do.
Okay,
I don't want it if it has anything to do with Baker Mayfield's tenure in Carolina, because it's not going to be a successful one. I feel like Matt Rule and Baker Mayfield, I don't know what it is. I know certain guys in the comments will probably cape up for Matt Rule.
There's only one, and it's going to be Kyle.
I just am not a fan. I feel like he's another one of those McCarthy guys where the team is sitting in the locker room and he's giving his speech, and they're like, would this dude shut the fuck up right now? I'm like, dude, cornball. Yeah, Matt Rule, Baker Mayfield, cringe as hell.
Cringe as hell, as he says. Okay, moving on. What else we got? The Vikings and the
real quick though, Jarvis Landry and Michael Thomas dealing with ankle and a calf injury.
It's Olave season.
So, and it showed.
And it did show.
He ate last night. So Olave, I think he had 9 catches for 100 something. So yeah, Olave, he's getting more involved. And this rookie class, it's delivering. The wide receivers are really good for the second straight year.
You know, not for nothing. And people are like, JD's coming in. What is Matt Rule's specialty? And AJ says, hard to find 2 bigger scrubs than Baker Mayfield and Matt Rule. So the hate on Matt Rule is very premature. No, like he's brand new to the league in like 2 years.
Dave, they went 3-0 to start the season last year. Look what their record was.
I understand that. They were in the top 5 of the draft picks. I get it.
So you were at 3-0.
Okay.
How bad do you have to be at coaching football to start 3-0 and finish the season and then draft in the top 5?
Didn't Sam Darnold get hurt?
Oh, yeah, you're right. If Sam Darnold would have stayed healthy, they probably
brought in bum-ass PJ Walker from the XFL and all this other shit.
Cam. They can't coach well.
Kyle's coming back in. AJ bet the Saints. Enjoy your Matt Rule served L, son. See, you can't hate on Matt Rule, the 1-2 Matt Rule, that is. All right, moving on. What else
Kyle, to your point, you are correct.
I'm sorry, you had the Vikings up already.
Kyle, to your point, you are correct. Matt Rule, what coach could win with that talent and those injury situations? Fair, but some guys have done it. The Packers did it last year. With injuries.
I know. When you have Rodgers and Devontae Adams, my heart's going to bleed for all of your injuries. They did fine.
Shut the fuck up.
They did fine. They won 13 games. Anyway, I bet the tickets. All righty. I'm not going to go into all that, but there's some controversy happening right now live in the chat. Bet to the Vikings who get a vanilla win.
Kyle, no, I'm not fucking serious, bro. We just addressed that.
Did you just click him to try to like almost like hang up on this caller?
I clicked the comment hard to put it up. Like fucking.
Anyway, moving on to the Vikings. 28 points to me is a vanilla win over the Lions. The Lions had this game. They were cruising for a little while. DeAndre Swift dealing with now an injury and another shoulder injury for across the way is Dalvin Cook. So running backs are starting to get hurt. Start handcuffing these guys. Get their backups on the waiver wire this week because it's going to be tough sledding for these guys to get back.
If you have Dalvin Cook and you don't have Madison and you're not the first waiver wire, you're not going to get him. So
there you go.
Sucks for you.
Yeah, it does suck for them. A front door cover by Rodgers and Adams, Darnold and Moore. Who did? You did?
Huh?
Did you? I think Kyle just left.
I think by proxy I did. No. but I didn't. Those words never left my mouth.
Not at all. So vanilla win for the Vikings. They get it done. They bounce back off their shitty primetime game against the Eagles. The Lions, they're all, they're going to scratch and they're going to claw because they're Lions after all. But this one, they let this one get away. So I think the Lions should have taken this game, to be honest with you. Another snooze alert.
That under should have hit too. How do you blow that coverage that bad?
Anywho, let's go. Next game. Go ahead, man. So the Bears get themselves another win. They're 2-1 all of a sudden, which is just annoying at this point. It's like this team, I don't know what they're making this team right now, but they get it done. Shout out to the Bears' conservative nature, man. This guy, Eberflus, is very, very conservative. They went into the locker room very, very content with what they were doing at halftime. I don't know if I can believe in this guy yet, but they're 2-1. And right now they sit on top of the NFC North with your Packers. So give them the credit there. But again, Bears don't seem to be that great of a football team after their first ugly week 1 win against San Francisco. But yeah, I don't know. There's not much to say about the Bears. The Texans, though, they're fighting, I guess. I mean, I don't know. They're not as bad as everybody thinks they are. Davis Mills is actually playing decent football.
The Bears are going to run the football a lot, no matter what happens, no matter who goes down. They're going to run the ball a lot. They for a team that gave up the amount of draft capital that they gave up to invest in a quarterback, and then it's almost equally as sacrilegious like Denver just running the ball or punting on 4th down and game to go situations. Justin Fields just doesn't have what it takes to be a passer in this league at this point. Accuracy is probably the one thing you can't teach a quarterback, and you can't fix. It's tough to fix the accuracy. It's a tough going for the Bears if Justin Fields doesn't pan out, because you can make all the plays you want, but if you can't complete a 3rd and 6, there's going to be an issue. Right. Mm-hmm. And they won. So good on them. But it's a home game against the Texans. What are we talking about here?
Right.
And they had to scratch and claw for this win. And I will say that one positive side for the Texans and for my projections and how I am, being viewed by the public is that Dameon Pierce showed up.
Yeah, finally. Yeah.
Right. I know it was against a porous, very, very bad Bears pass run defense. Aaron Jones carved them up for 200 the week before. But Dameon Pierce is the guy now in Houston. I think that's imminent, or that's obvious. Rex Burkhead, again, didn't get any usage whatsoever. And Dameon Pierce season, it's here. So, yeah, hopefully nobody dropped him because of his low projections, and nobody, jumped ship after the week 1 debacle.
Why Mike's coming in. Justin Fields won't pan out, and we all know why. He doesn't have to say it. All right, that is the week 3 reactions here on the Chop Sports Show on the Monday. Now, before we get out of here, one more game left to play. One more. Give me one more. And this one is going to be a doozy, right? It's the Dallas Cowboys coming into MetLife. I was telling you this yesterday on the Blog and the Boys stuff. I was like, I feel like every time I tailgate for a Dallas Giants game, I feel like it's in late November, early December. For the first time, this one's being flipped, and it's going to be a 70, 65-degree day in New York. Not first time, but it feels like first time in a long time. So the Cowboys come in. We all know the story. Cooper Rush is quarterback. Michael Gallup is back. Let's see. What other story? Micah Parsons had the flu all week or some shit like that, so he needs liquids. So he's back in there. Hopefully he plays out well. Easy prop bets. Zeke Elliott over 14.5 carries. Who ends up with more yards? Hawaii Mike is asking. Barkley, Zeke, or Pollard? I think volume-wise, look, this is my predictions for this game here,
Zeke,
okay?
Honestly.
Zeke with the most yards, you think?
I think so.
So they've tried to get Ezekiel Elliott going. And every time, and look, I'm not going to sit here and just go Zeke, go. His runs have been hard runs. He's not looking bad. It's just the fact that they've abandoned the run in 1 week, and then Pollard with a couple splash plays. It's not needed so much. Zeke has historically done pretty good against the New York Giants. He's scored a bunch of touchdowns within the course of his career. In this game in particular, though, I think the only home run threat the Giants possess is Saquon Barkley, and I will make a guarantee right now there will be a 40-plus yard run by Barkley tonight.
I feel like
there's going to be one.
I feel like the home run
He's going to get
Saquon,
loose.
The home run by Saquon, as good as he looks, is still just like a ground rule double. I don't think I don't think the speed is really there yet. He's got the explosiveness, but I don't know about that top speed being back to where it was when he was right.
And you know what? That might be true. That might be true. But I think like I said, I think historically he's done good against the New York Giants, and I think he'll have himself a decent game. He might lead all rushing tonight. We'll see. But like I said, Barkley's going to catch one and splash one. I know me and my brother are probably going to want to like jump from the 300 section after one bad run. It could have even be in the beginning of the game, is what I'm saying. Barkley is going to break one off. Either he scores or he doesn't matter. It's going to get loose. And I think Barkley's going to play well. But there's a lot of guys out for the Giants right now offensively. I don't know who he's throwing the ball to. Kenny Galladay's not even there. I feel like he's not even there.
It seems like the Giants receivers don't even know if they're going to play, even if they're healthy.
Right.
So it doesn't really matter. They're going to.
It's just a mess over there. I think they're down 2 corners, if I'm not mistaken. They're a mess right now. For a 2-0 team, they're a mess. I'm obviously picking the Cowboys because, obviously I'm like the Michael Irvin of this show. There's never going to be a time I pick against them. Maybe there will be. But I think the Cowboys win this game, and I had it yesterday. Double digits. I think that the Giants are going to come down back to life a little bit, as far as down to earth. I meant to say, come back to earth. The fans, they should be excited about a new coaching staff, and they should be excited about a new regime in the front office, and they should be excited about some of these players on defense. But they still have to deal with Daniel Jones. They still got to deal with Saquon Barkley. They got to deal with those contracts. Let them deal with that at the end of the year. I think the Cowboys come out of here with a win, and lucky for me, we're not on the air tomorrow for me to eat any crow. So that's a beautiful thing. Give me the Cowboys.
Breaking this game down, to me, the Giants have some issues on offense that's being masked by the fact that they played 2 shitty opponents in week 1 and 2.
Right.
They had to squeak by Carolina, and we just talked about how Carolina is really not doing much.
And a missed field goal by the Titans.
Yeah. And they got the shit kicked in the first half against the Titans too, which we could give them the pass on. But the Giants, they have issues. There's no question about it. They're a younger team. They have a quarterback that's not proven yet. And they got another guy on the other side of the field in this game in particular where they're not going to be able to block him at all whatsoever. He's going to feast. And if I'm looking at the game as a whole, throw everything aside,
in a vacuum,
everything, which unit is the best? Like, which unit could take over this game? And it's the Cowboys defense could 100% score points in this one. I feel like there's going to be a takeaway, at least 1 or 2. And one of them might go back to the house. Cowboys defense is a big, big, big play for me in fantasy this week. Not like you could really get your head, but I picked them up in 2 leagues. I get it. Makes sense. But the Cowboys defense this week, Daniel Jones is going to make some mistakes. I think CeeDee Lamb is going to do well. I think the Cowboys have this one. I don't know about double digits. I think it'll be a closer game than that because
my question is
the Cowboys offense isn't that great either.
You picking the Cowboys?
I am.
Okay. My question is this to Kyle and those experts over there at the Sauce Network, and maybe you can shed some light on this. Is this game a pick 'em by kickoff?
No.
You think the Giants are going to go into this game, the ball's going to be kicked off, the Giants will still be favored to win this game?
Yeah, it's in New York.
Okay.
It's at MetLife. I
Just
feel like
curiosity.
Pick 'em. No.
Okay. Interesting. One last question from Kyle Kerms. I have a question for the panel. Who finishes with more fantasy points, Javonte Williams or Ezekiel Elliott? You talk about this week? Because Zeke has a chance. I mean, Javonte did well, but not enough. So it's locked at -1, he says. So, all right. Well, I'm taking the Cowboys. Give me the dogs here at MetLife Stadium. So it's been a long show. We want to thank everybody for sticking with us this entire time. Be sure to like the video. Be sure to share it to everybody. Be sure to spread the word. Monday, Thursday, Friday. This show's on the air at 11 o'clock. And, of course, every day you can tune into myself and Gooch on the Mojo Market Report over on the Mojo YouTube channel. There's a lot of unread messages from those guys. We got to catch up. There's something going on. So they're probably just like, your show stinks. You're off the air.
And
Goodbye.
yes, he was shedding light on you picking Javonte Williams in the first round. And then he was like, wait, didn't he bet against him?
It's all right. I hedged my bet. Like, you've never done that before. Come on, Kyle. So
I don't know if he has, honestly.
Kyle's definitely hedged a bet or 2 in his life. Come on. Like, you're telling me that yes, he had to. Come on.
I feel like
even when he wasn't like the sauce.
I feel
or whatever.
I'm speaking out. I have no idea. He probably hedges. Maybe
Kyle, you ever hedge a bet ever?
But like, I feel like
when he makes his bets,
when he makes his bets, he
doesn't hedge. He says he doesn't hedge ever. You've never done it. Like, not as the sauce. Like, when you started first gambling on games, you've never said like, "Wow, if I just put money here, I can't lose." Like, you tell me you never done that?
Well, he's not a real big parlay guy, so you're not really like you're not going to see Kyle.
He's not a big parlay guy anymore because he's versed and he's knowledgeable.
No. You're not going to see Kyle being like a $10 parlay with 20 hits and he just needs one more. Should I hedge it? That's different. That's not his style. So
he's coming in. Kyle hedges every one of his bets. Don't believe him. There is some friction at the Cap House over there down in wherever the hell you guys are. But anyway, this has been a show. for Sturch and Gooch, and of course, Anthony for helping us out behind the glass. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's go Cowboys. Get it done tonight, boys. And I will be at that game. So anybody going, hit me up, meet up. I'm probably going to be in the J lot if some variation. Don't know where. Back-to-back days at MetLife. Not a fan of that at all. But I wanted to go to this game. I didn't get to go last year because Danny tore his ACL playing Thanksgiving football. So this year, we're back at MetLife. Let's do the damn thing. Let's go Cowboys.
Go Pack, go. Devin Duvernay.